If you're feeling stuck in your homeschool, I want to talk to you. First, I want you to know that it is completely normal and it can actually be a good thing. Anybody who has homeschooled for a while has felt this way. Ask anyone. If you saw my last video, you'll see that I'm right there with you. Sometimes it's because your kid is doing amazing and they're like a little sponge and they're just soaking up all the goodness, and that's awesome. But I want to talk to the person that you're feeling like maybe homeschooling might not be for you. Stop right there. Stop it. Got it? Okay. Number one, feeling stuck in your homeschool does not mean that you are a bad homeschooler. I repeat, feeling stuck in your homeschool does not make you a bad homeschooler. Okay? It does not mean you need to send your kids back to school. First, let's try some other things. Okay? Sometimes it does. I'm not going to shame you if you end up having to send your kids to school. You do what works for you and your family and your child. You know best. But I just don't want you to give up if you're like, oh, it's not going like I planned. It's not as easy as well, not easy, but you know what I mean. It's not as beautiful. We'll talk about that later, okay? Just know that it's totally normal. We all go through stuff like that. Now, what do you do about it, okay? I think that feeling stuck in your homeschool can be a really, really wonderful thing. First, it gives you time to stop and evaluate what you're doing. Okay, and see if what you're doing is helping you reach your goals. We're going to talk about goals later, so stick around. Feeling stuck, it's a great chance to evaluate and check to see if your curriculum is working and serving you. I need you to remember that curriculum is a tool. It is a resource to help in your homeschool. It does not own you. Do not become a slave to curriculum, okay? And be willing to stop any curriculum that is no longer serving you. And I know that can be hard. I am very frugal. I don't like feeling like I've wasted money. But I do not want to waste my time with curriculum that's no longer serving us. So I had a curriculum that I had chosen and I thought it was fabulous. I loved all of the things that it incorporated and I was so excited to use it. We were about halfway through with it when I think for 2 months, I'd asked my son the exact same questions. What's a subject and what is a verb? He, after 2 months, could not answer those questions. And I gathered all of the workbook, all of that curriculum. I walked over and I dropped it in the trash. And my son's little shocked face was so funny. I wasn't mad or angry, but I just threw it away. And I looked at him and I said, we're done. We're going to do something new. And that was probably one of the best decisions I've made in my homeschool. Excuse me. And it was very freeing and it was very wonderful to just go forward and be like, hey, we're going to do something else now. I want you to give yourself permission to stop using a curriculum, get rid of it if it's not serving you. You know, if it's lightly used, maybe you can resell it, get some money back. But think of it like this. In 6 months, do you still want to be struggling through the same curriculum, which is probably going to be causing your child, you'll be frustrated, your child will be frustrated, and it'll probably be causing some like self-confidence issues or other issues, learning issues. Maybe they might start fighting you with school saying, I don't want to do school, it's so boring. You know, do you want that? Or in 6 months, do you want to have a peaceful homeschooling experience, right? Don't think of it as I've wasted money. Think of it as that's one thing I know that doesn't work. Lesson learned. Now that you've given yourself permission to ditch curriculum that is not serving you or your child anymore, I want you to, if you have not done this already, some of the best advice I got when I was starting to homeschool was take your time and write your top 3 goals for your homeschool. It's going to look different for everybody. It might even be different for every child, but it kind of helps keep you on track. So if you haven't already done that, I highly encourage you to do it. And, you know, and then that's going to guide where you go with your homeschool, right? Somebody whose goals are my child's going to graduate and go to college and graduate with honors and become a doctor or whatever, their homeschool will look much different than mine because my 3 goals in no particular order are I want my kids to leave my home with a curiosity and a love of learning. I also want them to leave my home prepared for adulthood and hopefully be successful and productive adults, whatever that looks like for them. I also want them to leave my home feeling confident in their abilities, in their ability to learn new tasks, and confident in their relationship with God. Those are kind of my top 3 goals. So obviously my homeschool is going to look a whole lot different than someone who wants their kid to go to an Ivy League college and become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Who's to say none of my kids will do that? I don't know. They might end up doing that, but those aren't the goals of my homeschool. A really good piece of advice I got was let go of your expectation of what your homeschool is going to look like. For some reason, when we're like picturing ourselves homeschooling, we're also picturing like perfect children that sit and listen and do the work. Like, I don't know, it's like reality takes a backseat whenever we're envisioning what our homeschool will look like. And the best way to be disappointed in anything in life is if it's not living up to your expectations. One of the best things you can do is let go of those expectations. A lot of times, the things that our expectations, how we envisioned it, a lot of times things don't turn out that way. And so many times they end up better if we just embrace it and love it and enjoy the process and enjoy being with our kids. So feeling stuck in your homeschool is a fabulous opportunity to just connect more with your kids. You are their parent. You're going to know what's best for them. It's a chance to just kind of let go of a few things, reevaluate, re-examine, and reconnect, and then start over and fresh. And that's so exciting. I really hope this helped and gave you a few ideas and helped you along the way if you're feeling stuck. If you enjoyed this and you want to follow along with our homeschool and the things that we're doing, I would love for you to subscribe. And please leave in the comments below if there was anything you heard that you loved. If you have any extra tips for other homeschoolers, me included, I would love to read about them in the comments below. I'll talk to you later. Bye. I would love if you would subscribe.